Hello, my name is Dr. Richard Waterman of the University of Kentucky, and students often ask me, is Donald Trump violating the Constitution? Is he taking away, for example, the power of Congress to declare war? And my response always is, which Constitution are you talking about? Well, they say the United States Constitution, Article 2. That gives the president the power to do, according to Donald Trump, whatever he wants. In fact, we have had at least 3, probably more, different constitutions since 1787. And yet, not one word of that Constitution, Article 2, has been changed. What happened, and quite amazingly, is that we just simply reinterpreted the words of Article 2. Originally, it was a strict constructionist interpretation, meaning that presidents had limited power, Congress was the most powerful of the 3 branches of government, and presidents were careful to identify the fact that they had both powers and duties. Unfortunately, that model of the presidency doesn't fit very well with our government and our world today. We require a lot more power in the presidency. But where are the limits of that power? The living Constitution provided an opportunity to redefine the presidency in ways that suddenly made it a more active and vital institution, the most powerful, no longer Congress, of the 3 branches of government. But then we came up with an even more interesting approach and interpretation of the Constitution. Unitary executive theory. That theory is purely an ideological theory. It has no basis in the Constitution whatsoever. Its initial basis in the Constitution, according to the scholars who created it, was the president's removal authority. Well, the president doesn't have any removal authority under the Constitution of the United States. Hence, they were creating out of the air this theory that gave presidents extraordinary power without any accountability or any limits. John Yoo, who is one of the proponents of the theory, said the presidents didn't need a declaration of war. In fact, all they needed to do was go to war, and Congress could either cut off funds or they could pass a non-binding resolution. But the fact is that presidents have the power to go to war without Congress. Article 2, every single one of the Article 2 powers has been expanded. And that's something that I examined in this book here, which was how have we gone from a strict constructionist, limited interpretation of the Constitution, Article 2, to one in which presidents claim that Article 2 gives them the power, all the power, to do whatever they want. Well, they did it by reinterpreting the Constitution. Every time the Supreme Court makes a decision, as they did in Trump versus the United States, when they gave the President of the United States virtually full immunity for actions that he takes as president, or as they have done recently with the reversal of the Humphrey executive decision, which took away the president's limitation on the president to remove officials from office. They're giving the president more power, but they're not coming up with the counter, which is, what is the accountability here? How do we hold presidents accountable for their actions? Their only answers are elections. Well, unfortunately, an election doesn't occur every day. It occurs for president every 4 years. And if we don't like the president we have only one method of removing them, really, which is impeachment. I mean, there is a 25th Amendment, but in all reality, that isn't very much of a block on presidents or a measure of accountability. So we have no real accountability for what's going on. The presidency is expanding. It's now threatening democracy. And as it threatens democracy, we as a country have to face up to a reality. Either we rein in the power of the presidency Or, as Benjamin Franklin was asked when he came out of the Constitution Hall, and a woman asked him, "What did you do?" And he said, "We have given you a republic if you can keep it." And the question for us right now is, can we keep it? I hope so. But that is a decision that is going to have to be made by the American people, and it needs to be made soon.